Kit and Al do. That's Kit, I'm Al. And we've been at Christ Church for 28 years. Yeah, 1988.
I think I came on board around 1990. I was hundreds of miles away from my family and my friends in Alaska, and it was a pretty difficult time for me.
There were 5 areas of the country where we could have worked, and a friend of mine used to live in New Hampshire, and she said, "You're going to try New Hampshire, you'll love it." So we flew out, we stayed at the Red Roof Inn, we looked through the phone book for a church on Sunday, and we found this little Bible church, and I said, "Let's try this one." And it happened to be Christ Church.
I met some of my closest friends even today, Kristen Johnson, Kit Dew, Donna Farron, and Wendy Rupel, who now lives in California.
What brought us out here to from California to New England was business. We drove a truckload of everything out and pulled a trailer, and the Farrons invited Josh and Al to stay over at their house, and we stayed for 2 weeks. When finally Kit and the gang, the rest of the gang, arrived. They had us for 2 weeks, and very gracious. That was probably the thing that impressed us the most, wouldn't you say? Just everybody welcomed us in, and there was a lot of grace and a lot of openness. I mean, a family of 6, 4 kids.
My first real memory of Christ Church of Amherst was when I went to the building. I found out that there were tryouts for a production that was being done there called Eternal Encounters. And Eternal Encounters was a script written, directed, and produced by Kathy and Chris Thompson. And so I can remember walking through the doors, and I'd never been into that church before, and the first person that I met was Jim Stratton. And I said to Jim Stratton, "Hi, I'm here to try out for the part of the harlot." And I did get the part, but Jim Stratton, I still laugh about that to this day.
I remember on my 40th birthday, we heard this music coming down the street, and I think somebody knocked on the door and said, "You gotta see this?" And we came out, and there was the Johnsons, the Farrons, the Clements, and maybe 2 or 3 other couples, a bunch of people, marching down the street with a bass drum, pounding it like this, and singing "Happy Birthday." I mean, so is that creative or insane? I love it. Kit was probably loving that I loved it.
Came to Christ in 1989 on an airplane coming from St. Louis with Bob Connolly. He did 2 of the most wonderful things any man could ever do in my life. Number 1, he introduced me to Christ. It's been a pretty wild ride ever since. Also, he was kind enough to introduce me to Vicki. We finally did meet at Christ Church in the middle of the sanctuary, and took one look and thought about it and knew I was going to marry that lady. Got married in 1996 in the Johnson's backyard by Bob Steer. That's a pretty exciting day.
I was beginning to lead worship at Christ Church at the time, and it was really a small band. It started out with Peter Clemens and Daryl Dunnick on guitar, Al Dew on the drums, and Dave Warren on the keyboard.
Having come from a California church, we did a lot of contemporary music, and so there was sort of this borderline, we may go this direction.
But things were a lot different back then than they are now. We had overheads and transparencies that had to be made every week.
Vicki had a lot of songs from where she was from, music from where she was from, and her Christian background, and so I brought in some of mine. And after about 6 months, we had a worship team.
After leading worship at Christ Church for almost 12 years, my last day of worship, and after that I really resigned, was our open Sunday in our new building.
That day during the service, we were all sitting around eating afterwards, and the phone rang, and it was for me. It was my cell phone. I went out, I'll never forget, I had to sneak into a side room where Jermaine used to have an office and get some quiet, talk to my dad, and he gave his life to Christ that day.
There's been a lot of changes in the last 3 years. I think we're looking out in a new way.
I guess for the last time, thank you very much, Christ Church, for all you've meant to my family, to Vicki and I, to our marriage, and we look forward to another 20 years.
And for
God
your
bless.
support of the Nathan Project.
Oh yeah, oh my
God
goodness.
bless. Thank you so much.
Christ Church is our family. It's our Christian family. We love the people there, and we're looking forward to sharing the future with you.
Looking forward to sharing the future with you, and somebody else wants to share the future with you. So, I just want you to know, I'll be around for a long time. This is Nigel. I'm Al's alter ego. And I love you all.